Montego Bay has always been the starting point, the front runner when it comes to Jamaica, because that's where everybody thinks of Jamaica. They think of the beach, they think of the quality of life, the small town, the breeze and all that. The problem is Montego Bay is only a couple 100,000 people in total, where Kingston is probably 3 or 4 to 5 times that. So the mass of people that you need to be able to hire are more in Kingston than in Montego Bay, because Montego Bay is just now getting a bit tighter from a labor standpoint. The biggest concern and issue we're having as a site selector, because one of the most important things is data, right? Labor is important. You got to have labor. You got to have the ability to prove to our clients that the labor is there. So data accumulation is very difficult. United States and some other, Central America and even some European countries really are strong in statistics and data, where Jamaica is not, right? You can't get a true number of the commuting patterns. You can't get a true pattern of who's living in that city and actually working in that city. So we have to kind of, use the mass cities like Montego Bay and Kingston as kind of the draw and kind of the needs of where the BPO are going to go. Because right now there's a disproportionate number of agents working in Montego Bay than there are in Kingston. I mean, you're thinking of between 8, 9, maybe upwards of 10,000 people working in the contact center industry in Montego Bay of a really a city of 150, maybe a market draw of 250, 300, where in Kingston with a market draw of anywhere between 800,000 to 1.5 million, you only have about 14 to 15,000 agents working in there. So it's just really a disproportionate number of agents in Kingston in comparison to Montego Bay. I think one of the biggest issues is understanding what the plans are to sustain positive growth in Jamaica. JAMPRO, the government, HART, all of them have been really pushing the BPO industry because it does generate a lot of positions, a lot of jobs. But you've got to make sure you do it with a strategy. You can't just, if you're trying to get, say, add 10,000 jobs to the market every year in the BPO industry, and if you split half of it in Montego Bay, half of it in Kingston, it's just going to make the much tighter to find good quality people in Montego Bay, and which in turn makes the wages go up. You've got to make sure you're proportionate from a standpoint of, look, if JAMPRO and the government's pushing to add, say, 10,000 jobs annually or 7,000 jobs annually, they have to make sure that they push a majority of those towards Kingston, because that's where the population is, and that's where you're going to be able to find those type of workers and not have the wage constraints and wage increases that could happen if you're pushing just as many in Montego Bay as you're pushing into Kingston.